Okay, up next, ladies and gentlemen, we've got David Martinez, a Mexican, unfortunately for Angelo, versus Saimon Oliveira, the beautiful Brazilian, over on the right side. And there is some history with me, actually kind of with both of these fighters. With Saimon Oliveira, he was an underdog. We were just talking about the Peruvian in the last fight. He fought a Peruvian. He was a favorite over Daniel Marcos, who was my lock of the week. Surprise, surprise. Daniel Marcos beat Saimon Oliveira. David Martinez is the brother of Melissa Martinez, who was fighting at the Apex, I think at the card, the Michelle Pereira card. So this is kind of a full circle situation here. And I talked to her parents, who is actually, surprisingly, David's parents as well. Great people. Melissa won that fight. And both of them fight kind of the same style. They are both...
What the fuck are you talking about? Just break down this fight.
I'm breaking down this fight, you dumb bitch. They're both, I think, black belts in Taekwondo and karate. Both their parents were black belts, so they're in a martial arts family. They grew up, and they show that in their striking. Their kicks are very strong. Everything they do is very sharp, especially with the kicks, and they fight with a ferocity that you will see when David Martinez enters his octagon. Everything he throws has a fucking mean look on his face, and he throws everything heavy, especially the kicks, the leg kicks. He is not an Alex Pereira just snap a fucking leg kick. He is a step like a jab and just wing the back foot. And he does it fast. He does it strong. He does it hard. He does it girthy. And he does it all fucking night with those fucking kicks. And he will bring them low. Then he starts bringing them high. And he does it very, very well. Against Saimon Oliveira, who's a guy that really wants to get to the wrestling. He wants to get to the grappling. And if he can, he's going to have success there. But David Martinez has shown in his Contender Series fight that he knows how to defend the takedowns. He knows that they're coming. I wish he was a little bit more active with his hands. He seems to rely a little bit too much on the kicks, and everything's kind of just one shot at a time. One heavy shot, one heavy shot. And if you do blitz him, he's pretty good with, because of these karate people, they're really good with the footwork. He's really good at cutting an angle off and throwing that the counter kind of right hand or left hand, whatever it is. The issue is you can tell he hasn't really drilled that a ton because the timing's there with the footwork, but he's not real accurate, and he kind of sits on a little bit too much. It seems at times that he needs to kind of just fucking relax in there. I do worry a little bit that his over-aggression, a Mexican in Mexico City, a big fight for him against a guy that he probably should be, and he is going to be my pick. If he gets too aggressive early and gets taken down, Saimon Oliveira is a pretty live guy, and David Martinez, as good he is on the feet and his defensive wrestling, is still going to be a little bit green in the pure grappling aspect. But I loved Melissa Martinez because of her aggression and the way that she can throw kicks and strikes. I think the same thing happens here. David Martinez is able to withstand kind of the nonsensical takedowns at Saimon Oliveira. I sent some clips to Angelo when I was breaking down films of Saimon Oliveira just kind of leaning over, just trying to get takedowns from across. Looked like fucking Jordan fucking douche Magoosh that just fucking lost the safety parlay and lost me my biggest bet.
Vucenic, that fucking asshole like from a mile away.
She's shooting like those type of fucking takedowns that David should be able to see coming. So unless David gets too overzealous and blows his load and something weird happens, but Simon's not really a durable guy anyway. So I like David here. I think he could be a real prospect. You could see the way that you can see him in that picture right there. The dude's got a fucking mean streak in him. And if he starts figuring out his hands to go with the kicks, he could be a fucking problem. So I like David Martinez here, and I don't think he's going to have too many issues. And I think the line here, honestly, 2.5, under 2.5, I think is about plus 105, something like that. I think there's still some value there because I think he could find a finish.
I don't disagree with anything you've said. David Martinez should absolutely win this fight for two reasons. One, I think David Martinez is a good fighter. He's a mobile striker. He moves a lot like Dominic Cruz, right? He's constantly moving, constantly trying to make things happen. He has decent power. He picks his shots pretty well. He'll set things up. He can be low volume because he's picking his shots well, but he's so mobile, it doesn't even look like he's low volume. So the judges aren't going to be like, this guy's not doing anything. But mostly not because of how good David is. I'm picking David because of how bad Saimon Oliveira is. Yeah, he's got slick BJJ. We've known that from years ago. But the reality is he's just a long, lean, flexible guy that if he doesn't get to play the jiu-jitsu game, he's going to get smoked. In his last fight, he was a favorite. Jacob mentioned you bet against him as lock of the week, right?
Yeah, another win. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Surprise,
Another win.
Fucking surprise.
My notes, I take anytime I'm able to watch fights like in front of my computer and take notes, I take notes so that when I'm doing this again, I have not only like tape study notes, because when you do tape study, it matters, it's important, but you're watching those fights knowing the outcomes, which is a very different feeling than when you're watching the fights not knowing the outcomes, knowing who's the favorite and having your own expectations. So when I take my own notes, I went into that last fight with Saimon Oliveira knowing he was the favorite, having my own expectations of that fight, and then watching him have the worst takedowns I've ever seen in my entire life, watching him throw one punch at a time, watching him just absolutely suck in that fight, wondering how the hell was this guy the favorite. I took those notes live. So I had that energy. And then when I came back, because he hasn't fought in 2 freaking years, when I came back and did the tape study, I watched the fight knowing the outcome. Then I read the notes and I'm like, that's right. Fuck this guy. David Martinez is the pick. Jacob and I are both pretty square on this.
That first calf kick is going to have you guys being like, ooh.
David Martinez would be in the safety parlay if I wasn't afraid to safety parlay UFC newcomers based off of the other circumstances of 2025. But he should win this fight.
I think it's a pretty good candidate. You got a old guy coming in Mexico City who already, I think it was that MarQuel fight. I mean, it was like 2 minutes into that fight, he was like, ugh. Like, it just seemed like he was fucking over it already.
It was crazy.
It's like, Jesus Christ, and David's not a fucking pussy, I'll tell you that.
At all. No, listen, I'm very, very confident in David Martinez. He's one of, if not my most confident pick on this card. I do have a parlay with him. If you want to unlock the parlay that I currently have, just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It's freaking $10. That $10 will get you everybody's picks and bets. That $10 will get you every tool
free
that we
win
offer.
here. I didn't even play it. I played the under 2.5. I think he's going to finish home to get better value. So,
what are the odds? We will wait in silence. Shh.
I got it plus 105. It's minus 115 right now.
There you go.
So I essentially got David Martinez at plus 105. I do things like that are a little bit different.
I do things like that. And if you do want to
laugh at me is interesting.
And if you want to check out other things Jacob has done, check out Cops. Cops is a television show. Check out To Catch a Predator. What was that?
What do you think the most Mexican thing in your house is?
My fucking part Mexican wife.
What?
How about that? Tiff's got some Mexican in her. She's she's part Native American, part Mexican, and part Irish.
How often does she have Mexican in her? That's a thing? That's your...
My mother speaks fluent Spanish. Does that count?